There is one trading strategy that I use every single day. So simple, so reliable, and the reason why I'm able to consistently make profits in the market. The strategy I'm about to share with you today is so simple that even a beginner can't mess this up. I'm going to show you the full strategy along with 3 simple steps on exactly how you can execute it as well. And then I'm going to show you real trading examples as to how I did this literally just yesterday, so you can see that it literally works in this current market. So with that being said, let's not waste any time and let's get straight into it. So as you can see, I'm on a coin right now called Tastecoin. Now, you probably see this blue diagram, whatever it's called, on the screen, where as you can see it shows 1,281%. Now I didn't quite hit that. I actually hit around like 950%, which I'll show you right now. As you can see, 9.6x, and I actually called this inside of my private group at 220k. Now what I want you to realize is that when I called this coin, majority of you probably wouldn't have seen what I saw. Now this blue circle down here is exactly where I called the coin, right? Literally right here around 108. Now you're probably wondering like, well, surely it was just a gamble, or surely it was just you predicting that it might reverse. Yeah, I was predicting, but I know why I was predicting, and I know what made this end up going all the way back up to 2.2 mil when it wasn't even given any signals or signs that it was going to do that in the first place. Now you need to understand that when it comes to trading meme coins, you need to understand the foundations and the principles of each and every single meme coin as a whole. Most people don't. And if you watch my other videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that I speak about phases each and every single time because of how important they are. Now we can clearly see that, again, based on everything that I always say, a phase 1 typically lasts, it can last from a few hours to a couple of days or whatever it may be. But typically, phase 1 will go anywhere from 300k to maybe up to a mil, sometimes even up to a couple of mil. Here we can see that this was the phase 1, right? Very, very clear that it started to flatline around here, right? As you can see, wasn't really doing anything much here, and you can't really consider this a phase 1 because there wasn't any significant movement, but this clearly was, because it ended up flatlining. That's one of the common telltales of a phase, right? And then what happened? A phase 2. Now remember what I always say to you guys. I always say to you guys that, look, you can probably make a lot more money in the phase 2 and the phase 3 rather than the phase 1. Now in this video, we're not going to be talking about phases because I spoke about that in the last video, I'm pretty sure. What we're going to be talking about in this video is what allowed me to determine whether this was actually going to go into a phase 2 or not. Now, what I want you to pay attention to, right? Let's remove the circle right here. If I zoom in right here, yeah, look at this. What I want you to see is what I was seeing when I opened this coin up. This is all I was seeing, right? Coin went up 600k almost, went back down, barely is doing anything. Like it's not, there's no movement whatsoever. I'm literally seeing it here. The thing that gave it away to me was the fact that it was trying to push up. That's one of the common signs that it's potentially got room for it to fly again. And once again, what you're probably wondering is, okay, cool, well, if that is the case, then what made it actually fly? Well, I want to show you something, right? If I was to bring out this line right here, and I was to draw it right here, where it was clearly using 200k as a resistance point, right? As you can see, once here, twice here, third time here, it just kept using it, kept using it, kept using it. When I saw this, I was like, okay, cool. If it just broke its previous resistance, is there not a possibility that it could, again, potentially do it again, right? And what you'll notice here is it did it another time, right? Now, what do I always tell you guys? I always tell you guys that it usually takes 3 for it to make a significant move. 3 bounces for it to make a significant move. Now, there's a difference between bounces of resistance and then for it to break past resistance. What we're looking for is this. We're looking for it to show signs that it can break past it, right? And this applies to like all-time high as well, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'll show you an example. As you can see here, it broke once, right? Broke twice, right? And then it broke the third time here, and that's when it started to run. Now, is it solely because of this? No, it actually isn't. And if you are in my group and you're watching this video, you'll know that I actually said if Lobster, which is who kind of pushed this coin, and if you don't know what Lobster is, it's this coin right here. It's an AI agent. If Lobster was to mention Tastecoin or anything significant about it, then it's going to run. And funny enough, like I even called this coin, and I can actually show you the profit that we made on it in a second. But like, just from that alone, I was able to determine, okay, cool. Not only is the chart giving me signs that it could potentially run, but also the narrative itself, right? Lobster mentioned Taste, and Tastecoin is launched by Fartcoin Dev. It just makes sense. These things piece together, and this is what leads you to getting like 9.6x in gains. And like even my members, for example, as you can see, They were like God candle. And as you can see, I literally found it here. As I said to you guys, look what my member bought. He bought literally right after me because my members trust when I actually make a call. And then what ended up happening for him is, again, he bought around what, like here. This is why in the beginning of the video I showed you that 1,200% gain, because my member could potentially have made around 1,200%, 1,300%, whatever you want to call it, right? These are the type of gains you make when you use this strategy, where it's simply you trying to look for a potential next phase. That's all I did here. I tried to look for a potential phase to run, and I put the pieces together on what could potentially make it run, right? You can do this at any point in the chart, right? And you might think, oh, but how did you find this coin, blah blah blah? Bro, I was on Dex Screener. All you need to do is go on Dex Screen. As you can see, Taste Coin is right here, and it's been here the whole time. If I was looking for a coin right now, I'd click on like Bubble, for example. Launched 3 hours ago, it's only at 200k. I'd also click on Nice. Obviously it launched 3 days ago and it's only at 257. I don't really like that. I prefer a coin that was launched literally today and is on this top, 50 list or whatever it may be. That's a good sign.